welcome back to Exploring with Em and Stu.
And today we have brought you to Dover to a place called Langdon Hole, which was full of military stuff in World War II. And we're actually going to take you down one of the deep level shelters, which was used as a communication station. It's only a very small hole to get into, isn't it? So we're going to get in there, see what we can find. We're going in a bit blind, but not overly sure what we're going to find. But let's get down there and have a look.
Right, so Emma's getting a head torch on.
Head torch on.
Yeah.
It's quite dark in there.
But this is the hole that we're going to be going down. So hopefully it will all be okay once we're down there.
It's not the biggest of entrances.
No.
As I'm sure I'm about to find out. But apparently it's quite big when we get in there. So I'm going to put some gloves on and see if I can contort myself. Hence the reason we're filming me doing it and not Stu.
It's embarrassing.
Right, I'm going to get myself in and you can pass me the bag, yeah?
Okay.
Cool. Right, so that's Stu already. This is where we're going. It's really dusty down there. Quite far. There's actually a complete slope here. We thought there were steps. So this might be fun.
We're going to start heading down.
But yeah, we've never actually done anything like this before, have we? So it's a little bit different, slightly out of our comfort zone.
But what I'll do is if I go backwards, I can just fall on my front then, if I have to.
Just slide on your bum.
Yeah. No, I don't want to do that. It's actually it's not as bad as what it looks.
No, hopefully not.
Definitely not.
But this is interesting, is that there's actually a rail along here, and that side too actually, so maybe when they were bringing things down, they could quickly slide them down on the rails.
Yeah.
So,
Alright, we'll start heading your way down.
Yeah.
So
there you go, you can see that there would have been wooden steps. Look, you can see the runs for the wooden steps along the side there. Right, well let's get down here then.
Okay. So we've made it down to the deep level shelter. We've had a little bit of a browse around, but we really want to take you with us.
Absolutely. There's a few interesting features down here. We're not experts on these things, but we know a few of the features, so we're going to do what we can to point bits and pieces out. But
and don't forget, at the end of the video, there'll be cinematics to see it all properly.
Oh,
we're only going to be flickering through on this one.
Yeah, but this place is massive, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, really quite incredible. So I hope you enjoy our little tour.
So let's get on with the tour, shall we?
So just to my left here is the shaft that we came down. This was one of at least two entrances into this deep shelter, probably one of the main entrances, because as I mentioned on the way down, it had those tracks. And actually, if we just look down here, is what is very clearly a type of wagon, cart type base. This is, I'm almost certain, is what they would have used to bring things down and slid it down the edge. So that's actually quite impressive to see that there. But this has actually got a bit of a dog leg in it to prevent if there was a blast that came down, it wouldn't blow straight through the shelter. So we're going to get around there, get out the other side and put out some more bits and bobs. Right, we're now past that dog leg that I was telling you about, and we're reaching a bit of a junction here. Down here is what I believe is probably just a bit of cupboard. I imagine some sort of storage cupboard.
I love your speech there, bit of a cupboard.
Bit of a cupboard. Yeah.
Bit of a cupboard, Emma. But we have got some oil drums, which was probably used for water.
Could have been, couldn't it?
Well, they used to fill up old oil drums with water.
Look at this, look. I wonder if this is actually original wood. I imagine so. It looks really new though, doesn't it? It's quite impressive. And this was very likely something to do with lighting, electrics. But, yeah, okay then. So most of this shelter was made with these steel rings, obviously backed by corrugated iron. And underneath, obviously, is the chalk. So I imagine they just dug a huge tunnel through the chalk and just lined it for a bit of protection. Actually, it's fared up quite well considering how old this is, obviously being World War II. We've got all sorts of features and things, hooks and that. I mean, this looks like it would have been a light switch, I imagine. We've got all sorts of cable bits and bobs running around. There's actually still quite a lot here. Actually, there's something quite interesting down here, which I do believe is very likely got something to do with ventilation. But maybe we'll have a better look at the ventilation system when we get around the other side. So now we're walking into another part. This bit isn't that important. It's just like a little cut through to another part of the offices it actually
or
looks
something.
like it could have been some sort of storage area, or maybe offices, like you said.
Yeah.
Obviously, this was a communication centre, but it would have also have had accommodation parts, obviously the more important members of staff would have had a slightly nicer accommodation.
Absolutely.
So,
but these are pretty good, but it has been obviously had a little bit graffiti. People have found these before us, obviously.
and somebody's festooned it there.
Yeah, exactly. So what we'll do, we're going to carry on. We hope you're enjoying this. This is actually quite an exciting day for us because this is like the biggest challenge we've ever actually done on the channel.
Oh yeah, coming down to Dover to do these shelters was something we've had on our bucket list for a long time.
And we've finally got the opportunity to actually do some real exploring for once.
Absolutely.
So we're going to get cracking. We're going to go around the corner, hopefully meet you at the ventilation site.
Oh, absolutely. So in this large room here is a masses of ventilations. I imagine, well, this is very clearly part of the ventilation, but from what I heard, these actually were running underneath the floor, which is quite unique in these shelters. Not many of them have got that feature, but you can just imagine it pumping out all that clean air. And these continue all the way down here. Look, so that's quite impressive. Got more of these oil drums. This has actually got some writing on it. No, unfortunately, it hasn't given me any clues as to what was in there. Don't really know where all this rubble and stuff has come from. Maybe it had some sort of partition or something down it. It could have had. As you can see, the walls here would have been lined with probably wood and some sort of other coating, but again, it's all come off over the years. But again, I wonder what this is. It goes all the way up there. So. Don't know if it's part of the ventilation or maybe part of the actual structure. But just goes off to the right here now, so we'll take a look at what's down there.
So, right, we've come out of here.
These impressive ventilation bits.
Absolutely. And we've got some cable trellis in here, which is really interesting. Have a
Do you
look
think
at
these
that.
would have been along the floor?
No, they're along the top.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, of course they are. They're cable trellis in. They'll be at the top, not the bottom. And then, obviously, it looks like this was lined with some sort of plaster.
I think this section was probably more to do with accommodation.
It probably was.
It
It looks like we've got a chemical toilet. Looks like it might have been in here. And look at that. Always happy to see the original door frames. And it actually looks like that is a part of the toilet because it's actually a part of the toilet. It's actually got the piping. That is pretty amazing if it is.
If you just step back a little bit, you can actually see where it was painted what looks like a pale blue on the bottom and a cream on the top.
Keep the light in.
Which is quite different to what we normally see up where we come from. It's usually like a green colour, isn't it?
That's right.
But maybe they wanted these to be even brighter.
There's a possibility there. So we're coming into like this little hallway now, and this is like a hallway, and this looks like I don't know, a brick wall cupboard.
This is actually part of the ventilation system.
Right, okay.
I think they angled the walls at this very strange angle to sort of
flow
channel
the air.
The air down.
And this is a blocked up entrance here, as you can probably see there. But this is quite amazing. This is literally going through the chalk. And again, there's another one of these. But as you come out of here, we're going to be going into another part of the tunnel, which is actually quite clean.
It makes you wonder why they chose not to actually line these parts and just keep the raw chalk.
Yeah.
Unless it was some sort of later addition, not really thought through as much.
There's a big possibility there. And this is all blocked up entrances, and there's another shaft that goes all the way up the top there, which is another way out probably.
So that would have been the other alternative exit, which I might pop up there, maybe, and have a little look and see what's up there.
Okay.
Right, so I'm going to take a little look at the top of this shaft. Although Stu says it's not worth having a look, but I can't come and not leave any stone unturned, of course, so it'd be rude not to. As you can see, there's a little bit of a rope there, so clearly people do come up here. So let's give you a little bit of action. God dear, that's actually quite steep. God. Oh, I might get halfway up and give up, you know. Right, so I finally made it to the top. That actually was a little bit harder than I was expecting. And here we are, as expected. The filled-in entrance, or alternative entrance, obviously the one we came in. As you can see, they've just dumped loads of concrete and what would likely have been the brick hut that would have been at the entrances to these. And look at that, it's just scrambled all that corrugated iron there, busted the rings. Maybe worth coming up here and putting all that effort in, but there you go, it's all just rubble and some dirty pants, I can't see that. But this is the way that I've just come up. We've got some concrete here, and then it just goes whoosh, straight down. I imagine again this probably would have had steps and things on it, but I don't really know how, because these are kind of steps but not safe ones. This bit's lined, but as you can see there, it's just raw chalk. So I'm not sure, maybe this was more of an emergency way in or way out. So anyway, I'm going to get down there and we'll carry on the tour of the main shelter.
So Emma's just come out of that place. How did you feel about going up there?
Well, I don't think that was really worth it, but no, you've got to go, haven't you? I mean, you can't come here and not check out every single little crevice. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. But anyway, we're back into the main part of the shelter now, very likely part of the accommodation, I should think, because we're near that toilet that we've already spoken about.
Just here, and we're coming out here now. This is the ventilation room. Now this is really interesting. Emma, would you like to point out some of the features?
Yeah, well, I'll try. It looks like what we've got here is very likely this could have been a generator, because this would have had a massive ventilation system going, obviously. Would have needed a generator, wouldn't it? So I imagine that looks like a generator clip to us. It would have obviously channelled off that way. That's probably why these walls have got a bit of a slant to them. And also it would have channelled down this massive metal, well, like a tubing, isn't it? It's huge. So I've never seen anything like that before. So that's quite different.
Yeah. And obviously here, this is where the actual tunnel on the outside is. Yeah. And Emma mentioned,
I think this would have had
slider.
some sort of a sliding door, so that you could adjust it accordingly to your needs, I suppose.
Got some pipe carriers there, and this might be an exhaust.
I think that was probably the exhaust for the generator system. Would have probably been like oil powered or diesel powered or something.
Yeah.
So,
But we'll follow this down. But on your right hand side here, which is really interesting, we have another little tiny room, and that's pretty interesting.
Looks like
there was shelving,
probably just storage, because I needed food and stuff. Didn't
yeah, absolutely. And right next to Emma, we've just come across this like grating, possibility racking.
This is actually attached to the wall.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a possibility that's racking, I reckon. But we'll follow the ventilation to the
next. Old mattress remnants down there.
Yeah.
An original mattress bed.
Possibly. And obviously this isn't attached, this oil drum. This looks like it's...
Yeah, this is still the metal.
Yeah.
Greasy old oil pot.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, nice.
Wow.
And then coming through here, obviously the light isn't great because Emma's behind me. No, I'm sorry. And then it follows it all the way down. It looks like these might have been other generator plinths. There's a possibility it's concrete struts with bolts in them.
These are attached to the
floor. To the floor, yeah.
But down here we've got part of the ventilation, the underfloor ventilation system, I do believe.
Yeah, it's all blocked.
I mean, there's so much here, I'm not sure what a lot of this is. I mean, I'd love to know if anybody knows.
Yeah, and then obviously to the right here, we've got another little room, probably racking, with loads of these oil drums or water drums or whatever they were. It's very interesting. And
wow.
then obviously, and then we've got another generator plinth by the looks of it. This here looks like a catcher. They used to have like a filtration system inside the catchers.
It also looks like we've seen water tanks that look a bit like this as
well.
well.
Yeah, of course. And then obviously look at the size of that.
Wow.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Well, that must have been mounted on the ceiling once.
Yeah. It's just over time it's obviously collapsed, but as you can see there's like this plaster that goes all the way around this, so it did have something on the walls here
it's
at
like
one point.
It's like a thin layer of concrete. I think the misconception is that it's actually asbestos.
It's
but
not.
I think it is just thin layer concrete.
Yeah,
but,
it's interesting. It's very interesting.
Still love that.
Light switch.
Gosh.
Get all these on the cinematics, Emma.
Wow. Right, what have we got here?
Got more ventilation there. Looks like that would have been on the wall, another oil drum on top.
So actually amazing the amount of ventilation actually they put in these things. It's nice to know that they care.
Yeah, and actually we've literally gone in a big circle. We've got cable carriers here. Look at cable carriers.
There's a whole row of them all the way down there.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. And obviously now we're starting to come out where we started from.
Oh, we've gone around the big circle.
The big circle, and then we've got down here at the end.
Yes.
Which I think at the beginning of the video you said
I'm
that was
not
quite
too sure
interesting.
what that is, but I think that would have obviously been up where this hole is.
Yeah.
Clearly something to do with ventilation. Maybe it's access to the ventilation system of some type. I'm not too sure.
High possibility. And we're going to carry on walking through. You have to mind the graffiti. Not made for children.
As always.
And then we've been through there.
Done that way.
Emma done a little bit in there for you at the beginning of the video.
And this is around the last dog
the
leg.
dog leg. And basically we're coming out now to where we started, which is at the stairwell, which is around here.
Down there, yeah.
So obviously where Emma showed you where the trolley thing was, and up there, and you can see just the light at the top of the ridge. So what we're going to do now, I think I'm going to whip out the old action camera, and I think I'm going to show you some cinematics. I think.
Do your magic.
Absolutely.
Right, so that was the shelter here at Langdon Hole, the deep level shelter communications centre. One of two apparently in the Dover area, but we're not quite sure where the other one is.
No.
But amazing. Yeah, what do you think, Stu?
It was absolutely brilliant. Really good bucket list. Hopefully we can go and visit some more places down here. The Patreons have really helped with this because they actually paid for our trip. So I want to say a big thank you to our Patreons.
Absolutely, yeah. We've got some new equipment as well. Again, everything helps out with all of that. We're in Dover for a couple of days here, so I'm sure you'll be seeing plenty more from Dover.
Absolutely. So as from Exploring with Emma Stu, we'll see you again on the next one.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye-bye.